Ozempic. Everyone and their mother is on that drug.
Right, and that's exactly the problem. Millions of people are on GLP-1s, and most of them had no idea about any of this. Hair loss, muscle wasting away, stomach problems that last long after stopping, and a drug that once you start, most people can never actually stop. Today, we're letting real people tell the story. No filter, no PR, just what's actually happening. Stay until the end. I'm saving the full breakdown for last, and trust me, some of these will genuinely shock you. Let's get into it.
I just left the doctor's office. I went to get a checkup because I've been off of Ozempic for 2 months now, and I just wanted to see if my body was in better condition, if there were any permanent damages. Kind of in shock right now because I wasn't expecting this, but I guess Ozempic can cause bone density loss, and I didn't think that that would happen to me because I was only on it for a year. But I have significant bone loss. I have osteoporosis and osteopenia, so that I don't know, there's like several of them that I have. I wasn't expecting that, but that's what happens if you use Ozempic for weight loss and you lose too much weight.
Normally I don't post stuff like this, but they say how being on a GLP-1 will slow your motility down. Believe it, I just spent the last 36 hours as an inpatient. No fun. So, yeah, they're good. But when the side effects are real, I'm done.
Let's talk about my GLP-1 journey. It's been a while. So this is my truth about my GLP-1 journey. I have not given myself a shot in about a month. I'm probably not going to be doing my GLP-1 anymore. During the time that I was taking my GLP-1, I went from 188 pounds down to 171. At this point in my life, I am happy with that. For my sanity, I just think it's best that I don't do the shots anymore. The side effects were way too much. No matter what I did, I was constipated. My anxiety and my depression were so bad. As much as I tried to force myself to eat, it was a struggle. I literally had no motivation or no energy to do anything. So for my situation, I feel like this is the best decision for me.
Well, here's a Wegovy update. I've been on Wegovy for a little over a month, and here I am, about to have my gallbladder removed. So yeah, there won't be any more updates. It's a wrap.
A woman has died after taking Ozempic to slim down for her daughter's wedding. 56-year-old mum Trish Webster managed to lose a total of 16 kilos after starting the drug that's traditionally used for diabetes. Husband Roy said that while his wife was losing weight, she was also frequently ill, often suffering from diarrhea and nausea. One day, brown liquid started coming out of her mouth, and she wasn't breathing. Doing CPR, it kept pouring out, and tragically, Trish passed away that night. Her death certificate states that the cause was an acute gastrointestinal illness.
I think there's a side effect of Ozempic no one really talks about, and I feel like so many people are probably experiencing this and they don't know whether it's something with their body or whether to associate it with the medication. So let's get into it. Have you ever just like been minding your business and you're sitting around or you're walking and maybe your arm just feels like really weird, like really sensitive to the touch, or maybe your thigh or any part of your body? What you're experiencing is skin sensitivity, and it is definitely a side effect of the medication.
I don't know if it's just me, but my niece opened a bag of sour cream and onion chips, and I was so nauseous, yeah. It was just the smell of them, like, oof.
My mom has been on Ozempic for 4 weeks, I think it is, and for 3 days she's had horrible pain in her stomach below her belly button on the right side. So I told her to go to the ER, and lo and behold, she has appendicitis. It's double the size of a normal appendix, and she had to have emergency surgery, and this is a rare side effect of Ozempic. She will no longer be taking that shot ever again.
Bone loss, gallbladder failure, a death, And all of that in the first few clips. What connects every single one of those stories is the same thing. This drug slows your entire digestive system down. That's how it kills appetite. But that same slowdown is what creates the conditions for everything you just watched. And it doesn't stop there. Let's watch a few more.
I'm about 18 days into my GLP-1 journey, and I think I made a big mistake.
If I have to exist feeling the way that I am feeling right now, I don't think I could exist. So I've been drastically pulling down my dose. I'm down to 0.3, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm not going to take another shot. When you Google this medication, they talk about a lot of symptoms. They even talk about some extreme ones like getting really bad pancreatitis or getting really bad gallbladder issues, or everyone's gonna, live differently with it. But for me, it's not worth it, because these numbers of people who are dealing with the mental health aspects of it are growing, and nobody is really talking about it. I will be honest with you, and I am so truthful when I say that Ozempic almost took my life. I'll be watching a show, and then the next thing I'm doing is violently throwing up, convinced I'm dying, screaming, full panic attack. I'm doing things in my life that I really should be enjoying right now. Things that I'm very excited that have finally happened in my life, and I find myself barely being able to keep myself together, but I just couldn't be quiet anymore.
So one of the annoying things about being on Wegovy is here we are a whole day later after I ate my lunch, and I'm still burping it. Like, I can literally feel the burp, like the taste, if I would have ate it just a couple hours ago. And it's so disgusting. I had pho yesterday, like around 1, and I didn't finish it. I brought it home, for leftovers, and all day, or afternoon, evening, I felt like the pho was just stuck here, like all right here. I kept burping, and it just wouldn't go away. So today, I'm driving to work, and I'm still burping it. I can still taste the pho. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, this is the only thing that I hate about being on Wegovy, is how you just have these burps and burps and burps, like the never-ending burps of the same foods. I hate it.
He was like, so you have gastritis, ulcers. I was so happy that we was able to find out the issue. I felt just happy and relieved. This was my heart rate when I was under the anesthesia, and this was the whole procedure. He starts telling me I have to make life changes, in the sense of, this is not acute gastritis, this is like a permanent gastritis. Mounjaro gave me gastritis.
Being on a GLP-1 has just brought out my depression and anxiety so bad that I was having like mental breakdowns.
I'll be taking my Mounjaro today, and I won't be doing my weekly weigh-in today, so document my journey on here. Obviously it's going to come with the good and the bad, so I'm here with the bad. Last night was not a good night for me. I was experiencing a lot of pain, and I was up and down going to the toilet, just constantly feeling like I needed to pee. And this morning I've woke up and there is bright red blood, there is clots coming out when I'm peeing, and it's really sore. So obviously I've obviously looked at the side effects, and I've had to seek immediate medical attention for this. I don't obviously know what's going on at this point, but it's very, very, very scary. I have never ever had anything like this in my life, and I'm very uncomfortable.
On my GLP-1 people, what is the one food you used to love but now get a total ick from? Mine is cheese, and it makes me so sad. I used to eat cheese like a mouse. I loved cheese, but now the texture, the smell, the taste, all of it just gives me such an ick.
Hi, so I'm just doing a quick video for the Mounjaro community. I have polycystic ovaries, and this is my 4th injection of Mounjaro. So I've been on it 4 weeks. It's 2.5 milligrams, and with me having polycystic ovaries, I never get periods. Like, I get them, but I don't get them. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I won't have them for like 6 months, something stupid like that. It's ridiculous. However, last week I noticed I started to bleed. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, a period. Amazing. I've heard a lot of things about Mounjaro, you know, helping people with their periods, their polycystic ovaries, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So I stopped bleeding. It was very light and I stopped. And then today I've exercised, I've gone out, I've like done stuff. It's 11 o'clock and I've just gone to the toilet and I'm bleeding again. So is this common? Like, other women sort of having random bleeds but not a full-on period, or is it just a bit wonky because I've got polycystic ovaries?
Okay, and the act of transparency, this week has been pretty shit, for lack of a better word. One of the potential side effects for Wegovy is constipation, bloating, and all of that kind of jazz, and that has been me all week. I realised this morning I hadn't actually had a proper bowel movement all week.
Panic attacks, permanent stomach damage, blood in the urine, hair falling out, and taste buds that have been completely rewired. These are the side effects that don't make it onto the label. The ones people only find out about after they're already deep into the drug. And the mental health piece alone is something we're going to come back to because the numbers are bigger than most people realize. Let's keep going.
GLP-1 side effects that nobody talks about. So the first thing is hair loss. Like, I swear if I just go like this, yeah, there's a strand of hair. Like, I am losing so much hair, but I already have so much that it's not really so noticeable. I did have postpartum hair loss, but I think this might be due to the medication at this point because it has been a while. She's like nearly 1.5. And if I just pull my hair, like, there will be hair coming out. Like, when I, like, literally, hair. Okay, so the second side effect that I did not expect is like mood swings. I think that the medication is part of the reason that sometimes I get like really angry all of a sudden. And I feel like that might be chalked up to the medication because I have heard a few people say that they are experiencing that. And third thing is constipation. Nobody talks about this, but if you take the medication, you are going to be pretty constipated. Make sure you keep your fiber up. I try to have like a lot of berries. I love raspberries, so I eat a lot of raspberries and blueberries, and that helps with keeping your system regular. Otherwise, you're going to have some painful constipation. The last thing is that things tend to taste a bit differently. Like, I used to crave Oreos a big time before I started the medication. And after I started the medication, I don't know what it is, but they don't taste the same as they did when before I had the medication. Like, I remember it tasted so addicting. And now it just, I'm not really into it. Like, I had a few and I'm like, okay, meh, I don't want it again. I'm good.
If you are on a GLP-1 and you are about to have surgery, stop and listen to this. So I got ileus, which is where your small intestines just stops working. It is a very rare side effect. It is listed in the literature, but it says that it is rare. Happened to me, so I want to share my experience so it doesn't happen to you. So I had a hysterectomy. I came home a couple days later. I thought I would take like a little bitty dose of the GLP-1. Don't know what I was thinking. Nothing happened. Everything was fine. I got a UTI, so I had opioids. So I started taking them because it hurt when I would pee, and I had them, and I was still in that recovery phase. I was at the 3-week mark whenever I decided one day I was going to take another little mini dose of my GLP-1. And then within 24 hours, I was starting to notice that something just did not feel right. I could not pass gas. I could not get this like sensation in my stomach to go away where it felt like it was like contracting, but it was like my intestines. And it just was so painful. So I went to urgent care and they said it was a partial small bowel blockage. They sent me to the hospital. The hospital listened to my intestines. There was nothing there. I was there for 7 days. The doctor at one point came in and he was like, everything that we normally do is not working on you. He was like, I don't know what to do. They did a small bowel series. At the 8-hour mark, I still had the stuff I drank in my stomach. So the report read out as gastroparesis too. Now that is just part of taking it. It's a temporary gastroparesis. But at that point they came in and they started talking about the GLP-1. Now the reason I was given the okay to try again was because how much it helps my migraines. So they really thought that it was because I just had surgery, I was on an opioid, and I took it. And it was a very small amount. It wasn't even like the lowest amount. It was even lower than that. So you don't even need a big dose for it to do something to you. And I just want to put this out there to let you know that if you are taking any kind of pain medication, hold off until you're done.
Hey guys, I promised I would share the good, the bad and the ugly on my medicated weight loss journey, so I wanted to do a couple of short videos about side effects and how I've been dealing with them. So as I mentioned in a couple of my update videos, constipation is pretty common, so for me just increasing my fibre with fibre supplements or fibre in my diet and increasing my water intake does typically help with that. I've also had it the other way where if I've eaten out, had a bigger meal, eaten something a little bit naughtier than I usually would, I can have diarrhea as well, which, you know, can come on pretty quickly and last a couple of hours. But it's important with these things just to keep an eye on your symptoms, make sure you've got ways to cope and deal with those. Particular gastrointestinal issues are quite common on these meds.
7 days in the hospital, intestines that stopped, and then the rebound data that nobody puts in the ad. Most people gain the weight back, may end up heavier than when they started.
Today we are talking about Ozempic, which is a popular weight loss drug used to help some people lose weight and manage their diabetes. A new study has revealed that a lot of people taking Ozempic actually have what is called stomach paralysis, and the Ozempic is causing a buildup of days-old food to remain in the stomach that is undigested. This is really, really dangerous, you guys. We usually have 10% of our food left over in our stomach 4 hours after digestion. So what these people are experiencing is a massive buildup of food within the stomach that is not being processed and eliminated through the gastrointestinal system. On top of the stomach paralysis that a lot of these patients of Ozempic are experiencing, they're also experiencing things like diabetic retinopathy, thyroid cancer, hypoglycemia, pancreatitis, issues with the gallbladder, injection site reactions, nauseousness, diarrhea, severe constipation, and the list goes on. The reason why this is so important is because when you are overweight and you're unhappy in your body, you are meant to be able to trust your healthcare professional to point you into the direction of something that is going to be healthy for you to do, and that is a plan long term. I need to make this clear to you guys. You cannot get healthier in an environment that made you sick, and taking something like Ozempic is just going to further prolong those issues and make them worse long term.
Ozempic is like all the rage right now, but you have to understand what happens after. It's not just you lose weight and it's magic and it's fabulous forever. Ton of risks associated just right off the bat. So like pancreatitis, kidney damage, there's risk of thyroid cancer. More than 20% of people are nauseous like most of the day when they're taking this. Also risks of just gastric emptying issues, which just means that food doesn't move from your intestines at the rate that it should. With that, when you stop, what happens? So you stop this weight loss drug, you've already lost weight, you are going to start gaining weight, you're going to get your appetite back. A lot of people noted that their appetite was actually much stronger when they came off of the weight loss drug than it had been prior. Also going to have some blood sugar regulation issues just because your body's going to have to kind of recondition itself to handle blood sugar on its own. It's a diabetic medication by nature. Nearly every single person within this study anyways gained at least 2/3 of the weight they had initially lost back, and with that, a lot of those people ended up heavier than they were when they started the drug. The thing with this though is if you are in a place where being overweight is now a more serious risk to your health than these side effects are, that's different. If you're a perfectly healthy 20-year-old, just want to lose 10 pounds, this is not the answer.
These two clips are the ones that zoom out and ask the bigger question. Stay with me, because this is where it all comes together.
Mark my words, 10 years from now, you are going to see, you know those mesothelioma commercials? You are going to see those about the GLP-1s, the Ozempic type medications. Mark my words, that shit was not meant to be this widely used. I get it that it's hard to lose weight, but some things are not, you can't just take a shot and have no other side effects. You can't, 5-10 years from now, if we still have a world, you will be seeing commercials about these medications and all of the things that came out of them, because especially now that you have like the formulary pharmacies that are putting them together, and oh yeah, you can make it, but you have to make it patient specific. I don't feel like there was enough research.
GLP-1s have been so common, but only for the last 3 years or so. Right. So I think give me 5 more years, give me 10 years. I think we're going to see, especially because there's some really conscientious clinicians who, when they prescribe GLP-1s, they're also saying things like, I will not give this to you unless you lift. I will not give this to you unless you're eating enough protein, so that the weight that's lost is not at the sacrifice of the muscle. But not every clinician is that way. And I know this because I have people coming into my office who are very happy with the weight loss that they've had, but they've never been told that they're losing 40% of it as their muscle. So I think we're going to see a lot of badness in the future. And I'm not against GLP-1s at all. I'm just saying that done right, they're a miracle. Absolutely. Done sloppily, I think we don't know what's going to happen yet.
You can't get off of it. If you go to get off of it, you gain all the weight back. It never solved the root cause problem. It wasn't made to help you lose 10 pounds. It was for the person that was about to lose a limb. We've now using it for people to lose weight so they can feel better about themselves. Okay, in that concept, we have a couple problems. For starters, it's expensive. So now you're on $1,000 a month to keep the same weight. Ozempic kills hunger. And that's one of the reasons it's causing people to lose weight. You need food to make hair and nails and muscles and hormones and neurotransmitters. We don't know what it does to the microbiome. And the microbiome is what is making serotonin that keeps us happy. The microbiome, there's a set of bacteria in our gut called the estrobolome that break estrogen down. If we destroy our microbiome, you destroy your body and you destroy your mind. The last one that I will tell you is that it's the empowerment piece. When I inject something into me and I lose weight, who do I give credit to?
Ozempic, you're codependent.
What happens when the human forgets how powerful they are? Let's not rob a woman of the experience of figuring out how to drop weight. And by the way, a fasting lifestyle will give you the same weight loss result and save you money as Ozempic. And you walk out of that and you are like, I'm a badass. I did this. I did that for me. You don't get that if you inject yourself with something.
The last two clips are the most important thing in this video because they stop talking about individual side effects and ask the question that actually matters. What does it mean that we handed this drug to millions of people before the long-term data exists? She said 10 years from now, you will see mesothelioma-style commercials about GLP-1s. And to be clear, that is not a claim that this drug is definitely going to destroy people's health. It is a claim that we do not know. And that not knowing while prescribing at this scale is the issue. We are 3 years into mass adoption. The studies that would tell us what happens to bone density, muscle mass, gut microbiome, hormonal systems, and cognitive function after 10 years of use, those studies do not exist yet. The people on this drug right now are generating that data in real time. They are the study. She also said something that deserves to be said slowly. Done right, GLP-1s are a miracle. Done sloppily, we don't know what's going to happen. The difference between done right and done sloppily is whether the person prescribing it is monitoring your muscle mass, making sure you're getting enough protein, checking your bone density, your gallbladder, your kidney function, and your mental health. Some doctors are doing all of that. A lot aren't. And the microbiome point, this is the one that keeps researchers up at night. Your gut produces the majority of your body's serotonin. Your gut bacteria regulate estrogen. We do not know yet what months or years of altered gastric mobility does to that ecosystem. And the people on this drug are not being told that we do not know. And the cigarette point just shows how the pattern repeats. A substance that produces a desirable short-term result gets mass adopted before the long-term picture exists. And then years later, the full story comes out. Cigarettes were once prescribed by doctors, marketed as a weight loss tool, considered safe. The long-term data on GLP-1s will exist eventually. We just don't have it yet. And millions of people are already on the other side of that uncertainty. Now, the full picture. Everything documented, reported, or currently under investigation. This is the list the label should have. None of this is to say nobody should take Ozempic. For someone with serious metabolic disease, type 2 diabetes, or obesity-related organ damage, this drug has been genuinely life-changing. The risk calculation looks completely different when the alternative is losing a limb. But if you are relatively healthy and you want to drop weight faster, the conversation you need to have is not the one most doctors are currently having. Ask about bone density monitoring, muscle tracking, gallbladder baseline, what stopping looks like before you start. And if you're already on it and something feels wrong, your gut, your mood, your hair, your energy, don't push through it. Your body is already telling you something.
So here's why I really haven't considered GLP-1 drugs for my weight loss journey. Despite overwhelming positive results in the near term, these drugs have not been around long enough to fully understand what the long-term impact is. And believe it or not, this is not the first time that a drug, a miracle drug, has been found to help with weight loss. Now, these may be more effective and they are built using better technology, but we don't understand what the long-term impact of them is. And the only way that we'll know is by observing them for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And we don't know what could come out of that long-term for your health benefits. Some examples, or probably the best example of a miracle weight loss drug, was cigarettes. Yes, those were thought of as a weight loss tool once.
If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Creators' handles are in the description box below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.